Well, that's what the next question is. How do you feel being from the era pre-internet coming into the streaming?
I wish I had an iPhone. I wish I had an iPhone that I could record. I would have made videos. I would have been rapping in the bathroom. I would have been doing all type of shit with that iPhone if I had that technology. And YouTube, we would have been out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the ease of doing stuff, right? You know, it used to cost $3,000 to go to studio, like, a day. And if you wanted to go to, like, you know, like Pajama or like one of the big studios,
right?
The fucking tapes was $500 a piece. The 2-inch tapes,
right?
It's only 15 minutes on them tapes, dog.
Wow.
Right? But so the technology allows a lot to happen, right? Now, when you talk about the streaming rates and all of that, yeah, that's the bullshit. Like, that's that they didn't know, you know, the new technology in the contract is like, unknown, hereto and therefore throughout the universe. They'll say some shit like that.
Right. What does that mean?
You know what I'm saying? In perpetuity, heretofore throughout the universe. Like, nigga, forever, wherever.
Right.
We got you.
Right. We own you.
We own you. That's what they saying. But and they I remember there being, okay, when I did the Planet Asia deal in '99, right? Like 21, 22 years old, something like that, right? I read through every single page of that 185-page contract.
Wow.
Over 3 days with his lawyer, right? It's the worst, man. Like, the point was there was I always bring this up. There was a container charge. They do all these little funny deductions in the contracts, and by the time you get to 185, it's like the fuck it clause. They just like, fuck it, sign the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they would take container charge on a digital download. Like, there was like, 15% for container of a digital download. Like, there's no container.
Right.
It's shit like that all through those deals.
So they just inching off money and they have you leaking money.
That's crazy. I mean, I could get super into the weeds about it, but it's like, in this age, but they were, the way they looked at it was, we're taking a big risk, putting up hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. We got to get our money back, blah 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 blah. But because we don't really know how the shit works, young men going into these corporate situations, a lot of times, just right off the block, right? What does all that mean? You give me the 500,000 or whatever it is, and I'm rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's just but then you needed them. Like, you needed $1 million to roll out a big record. You know what I'm saying? You got to get records pressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you don't got to do that. You got to get them into every single store across the country for Tuesday morning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's shipping. That's all type of, stuff that was going on. So
that's somebody putting it in an envelope and that going to the post office.
It was all kind of stuff.
Organization.
It was all kind of stuff going on. So you needed all of that machine to kind of get things going. Nowadays, you and I, we go make a record on an iPhone, put it up, and it'll be everywhere that night. You know what I'm saying? And if it was hot enough, it could be viral within a week. Quicker than that. And now and all of that does generate, it generates income. The numbers are kind of screwy, but it does. And you got to just be, and if you're not on top of your business with what I'm talking about, the administration of, okay, well, who wrote the song? What's the percentages and what account do we pay? That's what I'm putting up. Like, who are you? How much do you own, and where do we send the bread? Because if you don't do that, they don't know who you are. They're not even going to send you no money.
Right.
It's that simple.
Right. So, let me ask you, pre-streaming and now that we're in the streaming age, is the artist more enslaved now or before?
Forever enslaved. If you're doing it, you know what I mean? Like,
they just found a new
slave
way.
deals, bro. Like, they're yeah. So, I mean, they're masters. They got your master. They're your masters.
Right, they got your masters. They are your masters.
They're your master. With you find that out when you start trying to do stuff with your material. if you're signing off your masters, you're in that type of a deal. They own that creativity that you put together. If you're doing it yourself, so you figured out some way to make it work for you if you're not signed, you're free. If you're free, you got,
Well, then let me ask you something. I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you real quick. Sometimes people say that sign these big deals, they say, I would rather own a little bit of something than all of nothing. Sure. How would you respond to that?
I mean, that, I've had to make that decision a few times. You know what I'm saying? And there's truth to that. 10% of a big pie versus 100% of a small pie. Which one do you want? And sometimes you got to make that decision. That's up to each person, and hopefully you find a situation and put yourself in a situation where you're educated, and if you're educated as you go into the system, you could play it the right way, but you got to know what you own and what your rights are, just like anything else, right? If you go in there and you don't know what you talk about, they're gonna play you, and you'll just be, if you're just going in for the bright lights and whatever you think is going to be, it probably ain't going to be that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So where can they find that online? We ain't finished, but I wanted them to, we talking about this music business administration. Right. I know that this is important to a lot of people in our community because of all our artistry. Where's your business online? FairviewMBA.com. Music Business Affairs is the MBA. And you can find that on Instagram too, FairviewMBA. YouTube as well. I got a channel with some videos.